Yo, what's poppin', chess fans? New episode of chess. You know what I should start doing? Learning openings. That would be cool. What do I do against that? What if I just do this? I can't tell if I'm a genius or an idiot. I have a pin. I might trap my queen though. If they do something like pawn to here, I think it might be trapped. If they take back, I can take with check. I guess they would develop the bishop thing. So at this point, they can castle. I think I want at least the option to castle queenside. And I think I will now, just to protect this pawn. What is the plan here? Let's just do the easy move. I'm thinking too hard. And yeah, I could have developed the bishop and given check, but that doesn't really lead into anything. I also had this move, but if they give check, it's just annoying. More so than anything. Shit. I'll give you props for that one. Are you kidding me? You don't even take the rook? You're just being a jerk now. What? Could I have just gone up then? If they don't take the rook, I'm gonna be tilted. Just take the rook. What's going on? Knight back here? Check like this? Oh, okay, there they go. Now you develop the horsey. That's not a horsey. I'm tired. I actually have like no idea what that does. Maybe it's some super high IQ move. Need to get momentum here. Nice, they took the trade. I figured they would because they were in an advantage here. Let's just super simplify. Pretty sure this is a loss at this point. Where do I put my horsey? I think I just bluff. Yeah, okay, that's good. Now I have in. I don't think this is winnable because I can't take this pawn. I can sneak through though. Take care of one of them at least. Why do they have to make this difficult? You take the pawn too? Oh, come on. Stalemate? No, the pawn. I forgot about the pawn. The pawn could move the whole time. I've been betrayed by my own. Alright, how stupid is this move? Is it really, really dumb? I have an idea. They might just do this. If they en passant, I can just drag the knight back and everything is fine. If they check me, I can block. This is actually a position. Kind of. I could have moved the knight again. Will they en passant? They're thinking so hard. Three turns in, and I've confused them this hard. God, I love chess. I'm so bad at it, but I love it. Let's see if they find the move knight to there. Now here's something that's really out there. Just kidding, that doesn't work at all. I'm gonna do this. Why is that take back? Because of that? Oh no. The take back thing confused me, and my brain didn't work. This game is so bad on both sides. Oh, man. I really should castle, but I want to move the knight up and potentially lock down the queen. I think I have to castle here now. It's the only way I can protect the rook. I could move it there. They just take a pawn. There has to be some clever way of trapping the queen here that I don't see, like bishop down. Maybe this fork? Wait a second. Actually, yeah, that totally works. That gets my knight in a forking spot. Oh, they defended it. I think I still have to chase my dream. Pawn up and I can't do anything. But you know, it's all about who has the gumption. You know? I can't put it there. Could put it there. That would be a fork of the king and the pawn, but I can be taken there. This move prevents castling. I guess you can get some pawns too. Ooh, that's clever. I could address it, but this is a check. Pretty sure that was the only move there. Move the horsey down and then move the horsey up. No, then I just take. Isn't this just a fork? The knight is trapped if I keep my rook there. Alright, so now it's threatening horsey there. Yeah, that pawn is still protected. I can't really get back rank mated here. I lose a guard no matter where I go. Is the problem here. Because if I attack this way, knight back blocks it. But if I go up here, I fork both pawns. Oh, they didn't see that. A really smart move here is king there. I don't know if they'll see that though. Remember, their rook isn't on an open file. And this rook is super out of position as well. See, it has to retreat. Whereas my rook can stay attacking. You have a really good move, which is rook to here, angling for, or horsey to here, angling for horsey to here. It's a tricky spot. protects against it with rook up here. I don't want to lose my rook. If I go here, horsey is actually trapped, kind of. It could go there. Still pretty trapped, though. That lets me get my king out a bit more. I like how this player thinks through moves. I do think overuse of takebacks is still cheesy, though. I had a lot of time to think here. And if I go right, then they just move that back. But I think that's actually fine. Because right now I just want to get this rook up and this rook up and start checking. And taking pawns and stuff. They could force a rook trade here with the check right there. The other idea is rook to here, which is pretty strong. Oh, the opponent left the game. Interesting. They definitely were winning in this position. They're up 2 pawns. Wait, 1 pawn. Because this pawn isn't alive. Countdowns are so tense. Got it. What about horsey before pawn? Is that idiot? It might be idiot. Second horsey. kind of want to get this queen out with a check. But it's admittedly not the greatest idea. If only I could move the knight up one space. I guess that's what pawns do. Is this move insane? Yeah, I just get checked. Let's just castle. I want to push this pawn eventually, but then bishop takes. What about just pushing the a-pawn? They don't really have an answer to that because they just blocked off their bishop. Takes is bad because it has mate potential. I think I still want to do it though. So what I want to do here is get my queen out like this, but then they just defend with the rook. Or something equally good. So why don't I just do this? And then I can get my bishop up. Unless they just advance, which is actually not that bad a move. Now that I'm looking at it. So that threatens mate. I have to do this, and they can get the bishop down. It's kind of messy. But defendable still, I think. If only I could teleport the knight to right there. Is pushing a crazy idea? I don't think so. I mean, the light squared bishop can obviously come in wherever. But I can just move my rook out of the way. Actually, I might want to do something like rook up, push, push, take, take. They can't take because my king defends. And their rooks have not really moved into better squares yet as well. Problem is my knight and bishop aren't doing very much right now. Actually, that might not have been the best move. The best move might have been takes, takes, and then attack the queen. But then what's defending the horsey? Why are people thinking for so long today? The big M11. What lines are you looking at? I think just take. If I do that, bishop takes, I take, queen takes, then I'm just down 2 pawns. Yeah, I think I just have to take here and accept that I lose a pawn. That was a good move. The good thing is that everything's protected. Could trap in this diagonal. Yeah. What are they threatening here? Perpetual? So they want to put pressure on this pawn, I think. No, it's not perpetual, because bishop. Hopefully they don't move their queen again. They didn't move their queen. I have check, takes, takes, but the pawn defends. So it doesn't work at all. Yay. Trying to think of like a billion genius ideas and none of them are working. So I'll just do the easy one. Oh my gosh. They played the perfect move to stop the queen from hanging, and then they ruin it. That's a bit disappointing. Because the logic of it was really something. I hope they're not salty. Alright, I'm gonna continue the streak at only looking at the analysis board when I win. Because that was a very satisfying game. But that early game I did not know what I was doing. Look at this. Alright, bring me back to the start. You know what? Actually, learn from your mistakes first. Throw the knight away for a better position. You get to be up 2 pawns and your pawn is all the way up there. And you have that check potential earlier. Bring the queen out for a trade maybe. Problem is there's not really a good place to bring the queen out. Queen to here, because it protects the horsey. Oh no, because the bishop can go up. What about takes? Okay, takes is good, because after takes... Yeah, they like that bishop move. I was surprised that the bishop, I made one mistake? There's no way I only made one mistake that game. Alright, queen out here was played, set up for mate. But obviously not a very forcing move. What about just setting up this battery, or setting this up? They both seem very strong. Taking rooks out also seems good. Simplest move. This seems good. Forces the knight to move. Either back there, or there, or there. They all seem pretty bad spots. And they all open up this diagonal. Oh wait, no, because the pawn is there. It doesn't open up that diagonal. That sort of has 2 threats on the horsey and the pawn in case that ever moves. It exploits my weakness in that this pawn can't move forward because the horsey traps it. I like that move, but I don't think the computer will. What about just early trade? Because after takes, that pawn becomes weak. What about just takes? Oh, it likes takes. Why is that? You can start trying to trap the horsey, I guess. Alright, attacking bishop is bad. The better move. Bishop here, threatening the rook. Doesn't like that. What about starting your own kingside push, or maybe queenside push? That's admittedly a very slow move. It's setting up for this. And the reason you can't just do that is because bishop plus pawn gives 2 layers of attack. Wow, that it likes. That's interesting. Why does it like rook there? Doesn't that just pin yourself? Doesn't like takes? Oh, it wins a pawn, I guess. It wins a queen. Alright, let's look at the actual game. So horsey's out. I was white, the board is flipped. Can't remember where I landed on this. Yeah, I think this breaks because it shows you the move that it wants you to do instead of the other way. So, king's pawn is apparently the best way to start, according to Lichess. Huh, is this an opening type thing? Where you try to punish the king's pawns for moving with the queen check? Oh wow, it really likes that one. It likes retreat, that's interesting. I like trading early a lot. This bishop stayed there for move 8. Oh, that's a big mistake. Interesting. Taking is a big mistake. Let me explain my logic for taking there. If I don't take and they take with, say, this piece, and then I take and they take, there's nothing defending the square aside from this one pawn. I could have maybe done this. That looks a bit awkward though. And it weakens my king side when I want a castle. So trading there actually seemed like a safe choice to me. They don't like this move because it's too slow. That makes sense. That's a mistake. What do they want? Knight out, try to reroute to like here. That's interesting to see that it really doesn't like this. Because it is threatening a mate. I feel like any move that threatens a mate is very good. Up to like Grandmaster level. Although I don't know what I'm talking about, admittedly. Alright, so they like take here. Then takes. I don't know. Oh, they hate this. They don't like going in the corner. I suppose because of potential this mate. Which is an idea. But this pawn's still in the way. I mean, they could do bishop here, which is strong. I would just defend though. And then this they like protecting against my bishop gambit. Yeah, but then they blunder that. And I saw it earlier, so I was able to capitalize off that mistake. Moral of the story is you can play the world's weirdest opening knight out first. I wonder if there's a name for that. Probably. There's a name for everything. What do you think? One more? We'll do one more. Hope you're enjoying the episode so far, by the way. I was trying to think of some 1000 IQ, bishop here, pawn up, knight takes. They can't retake like that, so they have to retake like this. Check, take. Which just doesn't make any sense now that I say it out loud. I'll do this. And then I'll do this. I can defend this in a really interesting way, because if they en passant, I just take with queen, and that pins the bishop to the queen. So I'm actually able to protect it in this really weird scenario. Yeah, and if they do that, and then take with check, I can do this. Can't I just do that? Wait. Don't move too fast. You will never castle. You fool. Now you can't castle. This is my trickiest trap yet. You've been foiled. I'm the lamest supervillain. We have fun here. Well, let's just screw things up for you. I really want to take this pawn at some point. Just don't have a way of doing that yet. This move is maybe a bit slow, but it does attack something. That lets me castle queenside later, potentially. This was an interesting first few moves, though. For sure. There's something Gigabrain here, like rook to there. I think just move the bishop. It's got like 4 squares here that are all safe. Also this one, but I would just push my other pawn. Any excuse to castle queenside I will take. I wonder if they DC'd, or if I DC'd. I have DC'd on chess before, which is a weird game to DC on, because you don't really notice. So there's a gambit here where they take, but it's kind of dumb, so I don't care. I am getting this. Wow, they actually gambited it. The gambit has been gambited. I hope they aren't like, oh, I'll protect it with my pawn, because that's a dumb idea. Seems like a bit of a short-sighted plan. You just have to move your bishop again. Okay, you know what? This is actually a good player. I have no idea how I didn't see that. I moved way too fast. I should just move the rook up there. Oh, I'm dumb. Our kings are literally just doing nothing right now. Oh, you don't want to do that. Such an awkward game. I will continue to take trades. If the trades are offered, obviously pushing here is better. But it doesn't really make that much of a difference. How crazy is this move? I don't think it's that crazy. Don't move the pawn up. Smart move here is rook right there. So I can't take this pawn. And it also prepares to like double up here, here. Try for a mate like that. VMCC is really thinking this one over. I don't know if there's that many moves though. Like the obvious move is knight to b5, threatening to take this pawn and check me. Another obvious one, where I just take the trade and then I take the free pawn. Cool, now we can simplify a bit. King can't move fast enough to catch up. I will take that. I don't know. I made that one mistake where I lost the bishop. But I don't think I would win this in endgame. Because after takes, we both have one pawn, one rook and 3 pawns. Make for kind of an interesting endgame, maybe. But also I could see it just being kind of long. This move I want to see what the computer thinks about. Because obviously on paper, you know, attacking the queen from 2 angles, there's literally no escape. I'm pretty sure. It hates this opening. It likes taking and forcing the queen out. Maybe there's some counterattacks in that situation. They think this move is a bit slow. They do like that. Yeah, and the reason I was afraid of en passant there, let me just explain here, is that if I take, and then they take, and then I take, I have one horsey, and they have both horsies, and both bishops. So although logically the king can never castle, it's still kind of awkward to be down a piece this early. 8 points? There's gotta be some way to capitalize off on this better than I do. Wait, why did I not take... Did I just not see that? Oh, I think I just didn't see that. I guess I got tunnel visioned. Yeah, and I also didn't see this. Oh, they like the check. Ah. And now if takes, I have the fork where I get this rook. Because that's how knights move. And I'm an idiot. Anyways. That's a blunder. They like just going after a pawn of our own, even though they can get a pawn. That's interesting. Oh, I could have en passant. This move is so cool, but the computer is not impressed. Yeah, I guess I was kind of overly attached to this pawn. The computer wants to just callously go after all their pawns. This move was a bit weird. Oh, that's a blunder. Interesting that they want to get the rooks out when I was thinking about the knight so much. I like it when there's like a shit ton of blunders in a row. I was considering taking there instead. It sort of necessitates action. They can attack the bishop if they want, but then I get the pawn. Yeah, that's interesting. This was a very interesting game. This move they don't like. And then that's where we draw. So let's see, what were our mistakes? Rook h6 was played. Whereas this is the better move because it protects the horsey. And the computer move is bishop to there. Offering a trade there is bad. Oh. I can explain why this is the best move. Because if pawn, bishop, fork. Alright, accepting trade is bad. The better move is not actually to check, apparently. I feel like I do want to move the bishop somewhere. Maybe just right here for simplicity. Protects the pawn. I can en passant. Pawn to there was played. Find the better move. This is more direct if I just put the rook right there. It's maybe defendable. See that as being strong. Here you just take. Alright, let's look at white mistakes now. They don't like accepting the trade. This seems bad. This, however, and this seem good. Let's try this. Alright, bishop to attack the queen was played. Find the better move. Attack that pawn. No, this knight's hanging. Danger levels. Attack the queen instead. Alright, defending the bishop was played. Where the better move is... I mean, rook to there, if takes, then you have a pin. It's an interesting idea. But the rook would just defend. Can't bring the knight out, because then they take the bishop. I think it's either short term, attack the rook, or just accept the loss. Pawn up was played, find the better move. I was thinking I was a genius for that because knight to there protects the pawn. I really thought this was a really smart move. I'm surprised it's a mistake. The back rank mate threat I feel like isn't very real, but maybe the computer sees it different. Yeah, I'd want to keep it there so it defends the pawn. Rook there was played, which is kind of weak. I think that's the better move. The weird thing is, like, this is exactly the same move I would do, so I don't see how it's a blunder. Maybe that's on me, though. What about here? No. My thought process was, Wait, no, I think that's actually good. They can't take the pawn because I take the rook. If they take the rook, I take the rook, and then they take the pawn, and then I delivered check. They can only move there, and I can just sweep up all those pawns. That seems good. Okay, it's not good. What about this? What about this? That attacks the rook where it is. This attacks the rook where it's gonna be. There's no way it's something super out there like this, which leads to mate in 74. It's king up? What? Why would they make this series of moves, though? Hey, imagine if they were just like, haha, I'm an idiot. They got mated. That was a good match, though, VMCC. I'm curious why accepting a draw for loses elo. I lost my 420, man. Oh wait, or did I gain it? No. I had it and I lost it because I accepted the draw. Maybe it's like whoever accepts the draw loses points. This person is very similar in skill to me. They don't do puzzles. What's my puzzle score? Oh, it doesn't show. Look at how far it jumps. Why is this so major? Because it lets the rook in. Oh, it doesn't show the graph. So letting the rook in there is bad. In an alternate reality, I did this. Now they like the trade. That's interesting. How is that good now? This move doesn't look like it does anything. What? Is the computer confused? It doesn't like taking the pawn here? There's no way this rook gets trapped. The game is so open. No way, this leads to a mate. Can I just keep going? That's actually me. Well, if they just don't use their rook to block anytime. Huh. I don't know. Maybe I should have played it out. In any case, I've had some fun chess games today. Hope you enjoyed watching them. If you did, leave a like, subscribing. It's very good. And I will see you on the next episode of Chess. Bye bye.